Well, hello me lovelies, it's me Ned Natter here, and I'm here to chatter down here on the farm. I hope I'll get to brighten your day. I love to gossip after a long day of taking care of things down here on me Florida farm. It's great to be with you again. Thank you so much for your lovely comments and messages. Today I want to chatter about a few things, but first up, I need to mention that I don't talk about the news. Current affairs, we're all sick of them, aren't we? Tired of it all. You don't want me to be reminding you of everything you've already seen or heard this week, do you? Me show's here to give you a break from it all. A good laugh, even if it is only once a week on a Wednesday. Still, you can always listen to all me shows again at the website, nednatter.com. Yup. Okay, well, put everything down. No, everything. I mean you too. Come on, it's time for the Ned Natter Show, and you can't miss this. Before I run off and tell you more, let's have a look round the farm. And believe me, I've had enough of frost. Yup, frost. Having to cover up me winter veggies every night. Oh, I thought about putting everything in pots, this year, and so I could bring the plants indoors. Well, that way I could put the wife Elsie outside instead. Cover her up. I'd rather talk to me veggies anyway, Oh dear. Trouble is, Ned Jr., the wife's piggy and me namesake, is fond of veggie snacks. So I'd have to put him out with the wife. I suppose they keep each other warm. When it comes to me old mum Nan, frost don't hurt her. No. Most days she looks just like she's got off a mortuary slab anyway. This is Ned Natter here with the Ned Natter Show. You want to know where you can find me and my shows at nednatter.com. Me daughter, young Dolly's little ram, young Butt, has been getting around now. He's put on a few ounces. This week, he's been at a close call, Oh dear, well, I noticed Lonnie, me blind neighbour, petting it with a plan. I noticed Lonnie was, getting a bit friendly with it there, I think he was thinking about a combination of a nice supper and winter slippers in one go. Oh dear. Luckily, I got away from him in time. Gave him one of the wife's disgustingly overloaded frozen pizzas instead. It might have jammed up the old microwave though, so see, it's nearly 2 feet across. So I told Lonnie I'd cut it into quarters so he could cook one of them at a time. If you remember, I got asked to be best man for my lawyer brother in LA. He's been on the phone again reminding me of how he's signed up for marriage. And he's still expecting me to be best man. Oh dear. Well, young Nelson Natter, yep, Nelson, arranges his wedding date. I've been thinking about the best way to travel, see? Me dog Clay, I have to come. He hates the wife. Then there's me farm cat, young Charles. He hates everybody. So I'm taking him too. And me wedding gift, last but not least, one of me best Len hens. That's 2,500 miles, so I'm going to have to rent. Yup, an RV that is. I'll just tell them it's for me though, not mention the livestock entourage. Otherwise, they'll be asking for a cleaning and, extra damage deposit up front. Worse still, they might not rent it to me at all. Meanwhile, on the renting subject, me old mum Natter has been reading an article in some women's magazine. Yup, on renting men. Now the old crow thinks there's still hope for her. Oh dear. For some reason, I think they'll give her a refund the moment they see her. Probably add a gift card too, just to divert her away. Or they run in the opposite direction. This is Ned Natter here with the Ned Natter Show. And when I'm not here, you can find me and my shows at nednatter.com. Well, my lovelies, I'm always getting nice messages from you, me listeners. From time to time I get an odd question too, so as I mentioned before, in this season, I've decided to feature them in the shows. This one arrived from Do-It-Yourself Dave in North Dakota. Yup, he's thinking about a fixer-upper, but wanted to ask me about deferred maintenance. Oh dear. Well, DIY Dave, round here, deferred maintenance is a bit like the 7-year itch. Well, that seems to be the length of the cycle. After 7 years, everything's got critical. Yep, and before you ask, me old mum, Nan, and the wife, Elsie, have maintenance issues too. Me old mum, she should have been condemned years ago. And the wife, oh dear, well, she's like the deferred maintenance you hear the most about, see? That's right, don't fix it till it's bust. So I'm waiting. That's right, any day now. At that point, I'll be referring it, not deferring it. Either way, round here, everyone prefers to watch me do the maintenance. They don't mind that at all. They just sit by and watch. Anyway, DIY Dave, you're in for luck this time. I've decided to tell you more in this show about my own deferred maintenance problems. It'll make you think. Anyway, I've got it all here on the Ned Natter Show. Old Ding Dang, me fireman, thinks maintenance is amount he has to pay to his numerous ding dang mistakes. Yep, he's fathered quite a few of them. In a 3-mile radius, that is, of course. Ding Dang's not too fussy. More so when he's spent a few hours with his best friend, Bud. Yep, apparently 6 cans does the trick. Well, I suppose at least he gets to blame something for his blunders. Ding Dang don't worry about the old house maintenance either, he still lives with his mama. Yep, she rents this place that looks like a fixer-upper as it is. Well, I'd call it something new, a knocker-downer. Might work out better. The landlord is what they call an absentee, Good job he lives in Panama. That way, he never gets to see his former investment. Oh, well, they do say what the eye don't see, don't they? Whoa. So let's have a look at some of those good old maintenance issues round here, The old cracker farmhouse is what I call a creaker. It moans, it groans, night and day. It's like the place is in pain. Well, I suppose it makes sense. If you're being slowly eaten to death by termites, they even demolished my old mum Nan's walking stick. I had to buy her a metal one this time. Even that's gone rusty though. Then there's the usual problems, isn't there? Well, maybe I've got more than my fair share. Let's see. I got dry rot, wet rot, creeping rot, walking rot, running rot, skipping rot, jumping rot, plain old rot. Oh dear. Then there's the mould. Oh dear again. We got green mould, grey mould, red mould, yellow mould, white mould, new mould, old mould, wall mould, floor mould, ceiling mould. Oh, the place is looking like a stinking old cheese. That's before he mentioned the stains and the drains. Oh dear. See, the house was built over 100 years ago. Of course, back then, it didn't have all them modern conveniences. Well, just the old built-in inconveniences, that's right. The electrical system, was salvaged from the burned-out remains of Frankenstein's castle. Only it's been adapted, to feed off the mains power now. We don't have to wait for a lightning strike, to run the TV or anything else. On the other hand, the power poles, well, put it this way, I'd call them Pisa poles. Why? Well, they all lean to one side. It's caused either by, them high winds or the sinking swamp underneath. The plumbing is another example. Added to that, the house is, they put it in much later, but, to be honest, it still looks like it's nearly as old as the place. In the summer, we sometimes get green water. In the winter, it's sometimes brown. Well, that's obviously the dead version of the summer algae. Mind you, I never drink it. And then there's the well. Well, I call it a wishing well. See, I wish there was more water coming out at the time. Then, what's worse is the fact that although here in the US, there's supposed to be separation between church and state, there's far less separation between well and septic tank. I don't know though. Well, anyway, a few places around here, they have the real shallow wells. Oh dear, well, they actually pray for rain and then can moan on about the mud. See, when it rains, they get more water. The good thing is, the ditches empty pretty fast too. Yuck. So, there's no telling where their water comes from. They must have blind faith in the fact that one tank ain't supplying the other. Fortunately, although my well's slow, it's good and deep. But even then, it smells like a bad fart before it gets filtered. The septic is out there somewhere, not too close after all. Other than the, what would you call a septic tank? I think it's like a man-made version of a urinary tract infection. Oh dear. Then nature has a hand in everything, doesn't it? Ready to convert the house back to it. Yup. The back of the house is one example too. Oh dear, well, it's got so many vines growing up the walls of the old place. It looks like a scene from the Day of the Triffids. The carpenter ants, they're busy too. I watch them at night, marching around the old place. Like a massive, organised army they are. If you look close though, they're carrying little tool bags, hammer and chisel sets, and saws. Working all night to guarantee the next hurricane blows the house into the next field. Well, that's not all that bad actually, I suppose there might be a better view from there. Also, with the amount of sand in Florida, carpets are a bad idea. See, if you don't vacuum at least 3 times a week, the carpet gets so heavy, it falls through the bleeding floor. And without a floor, you get all kinds of visitors in your house, don't you? And I'm not talking about people, oh no, critters. Everything that lived underneath moves upwards. Mind you, near me, it's mostly mobile homes. They make my kind of deferred maintenance look like me farmhouse is in tip-top condition. They leave the repairs so long, the only time they get things done is by FEMA. Yep. After a hurricane or natural disaster, the home was already a disaster before an inch of rain showed, and within 2 weeks, they're getting free windows, new doors, and roofs. This is Ned Natter here with the Ned Natter Show. When I'm not here, you can always find me and my shows at nednatter.com. By the way, me nudist neighbour, old Fred, has a different kind of maintenance issue. It's called high maintenance. See, old Fred took a break from the unreliability of swingers, swappers and nudists for a while. He went and signed up to a new website in the hope of meeting a sugar baby. Oh, that's right. Something you picture, for a millionaire, not a desperate backwards nudist. Sugar babies are traditionally the younger kept woman of an older wealthy man, aren't they? But of course, the internet's changed all that. Oh dear. The sugar babies now range from ages sort of 18 to 80. Quite a few are closer to jelly babies and far from what we used to call spring chickens. The websites, they're packed with old boilers actually. And as you know, Fred is not the most selective of folks, is he? And that means he's got a wide choice. Still, to be honest, choice is irrelevant. It's all about money, innit? And paying their bills. That's right, their bills. Oh dear, Fred. Of course, you've heard of the expression horses for courses, haven't you? Well, so basically old Fred reckons a dinner date means driving his 1994 minivan to a drive-thru. A romantic evening means taking a flashlight down to the nearest beach. And safe sex means not doing it in the middle of the freeway. See, Fred's out of touch, to say the least. So, we get to the high maintenance bit, don't we? Fred's 54-year-old sugar baby is demanding he pay her rent $1,200 and her car payment $300. and help out with the groceries. That was another $500. Ooh, of course, I even questioned the grocery bill bit. $500. But it seems she's got 8 kids and 4 grandkids. They all like snacking too. Ooh. I think Fred needs to go back to life as a happy-go-lucky swinger. Take his chances there, or better still, retire from the dating scene altogether. Take up bowling or poker, something less expensive. Or you could go back, like he was before, lying out on a nudist beach and hoping something lands on him. Mind you, last time it was a couple who showed. Yep, a couple. That's right, turkey vultures. This is Ned Natter here with the Ned Natter Show. And when I'm not here, you can find me and me shows at nednatter.com. Me campers ain't going anywhere soon, but despite the Twilight Zone, their little canvas world needs little maintenance. And when it does, the wife Elsie is always ready with a needle and thread. They're still under canvas, See their so-called new trailer, bought off one of Ding Dang's relatives, Mr. Elrod, turned out to be a disaster as expected. Not just rotten, it's got more fleas than a stray dog. Added to that, it looks as if the folks that make calendars had a hand in manufacture this one. As you know, me lovely vegan neighbour young Alice has been inviting me over to the farm. Before you ask, the place is immaculate. Not a speck of dust or dirt anywhere. Of course, I feel a bit out of place when I go there. I do take off me boots though and me overalls at the door. Mind you, poor Alice is staying indoors for a couple of weeks. Yep. She tells me Mercury is in retrograde. And that's a bad omen. I wanted to join her, a couple of weeks indoors, sound nice. But me farm's a real mess right now. It's definitely going backwards round here. Oh dear. It would have been a great excuse to stay indoors for a while. Added to that, the wife Elsie has been on Gatorade for years. That's right, Gatorade, not retrograde. What's worse is it seems to make her more suspicious and trigger happy too. In fact, she's the human incarnation of a bad omen most days. This is Ned Natter here with the Ned Natter Show. And when I'm not here, you can find me and my shows at nednatter.com. Me neighbour and part-time political commentator old Rush, he's always got something to say. When I told him I was nattering about house maintenance, he was quick to get it wrong as usual. And he suggested the house needs more than maintenance. It needs fumigating. Oh dear, Rush. I wasn't talking about Congress. I was chatting about private homes. Can't leave his favourite topic alone, poor old mucker. And then, as usual, he's off to the toilet. Grumbling on about draining the swamp. Oh, cliche, eh? Well, I think it's this place needs fumigating for sure. This is Ned Natter here with the Ned Natter Show. And when I'm not here, you can always find me at nednatter.com. By the way, my long lost relative Skip Natter tried setting up as a handyman once. Looking to do a bit of deferred maintenance of his own. Offering his home's maintenance skills actually, to unsuspecting folks. Trouble is, Skip's handies were more like manhandling everything out of there. Yep, folks usually arrived home, to half an empty house. While on the subject of, comment, my agent 50% has lined me up a new ad this week. He's been at it again though, looking over me notes and seeing I was nattering about this, maintenance thing. He's lined up a new ad. Well, it's a bit too typical, but anyway, here goes me lovelies. Have you ever considered a simple answer to deferred maintenance? Well, we have it all at Scorched Earth Inc. We offer the best range of services available. Call our Vice President, Bill Dozer, today, or his friendly assistant, Sally Scorch. They'll have every item of deferred maintenance solved, in minutes. Just one call and you'll never have to worry about another home issue again. Call us today at 1-900-BURN-IT, that's 1-900-BURN-IT, or visit their website, putamatchtoit.biz, for a free, no obligation quote. Oh dear, still not useful around here. This is Ned Natter here with the Ned Natter Show. When I'm not here, you can find me and my shows at nednatter.com. Whichever way you dice it, the Ned Natter Show is usually pretty high maintenance. But to finish up, this time I wanted to mention a letter I received here at 2 Medicine Farm. Yup, a regular letter. Oh, makes a change from an email, doesn't it? Better still, right with a stamp on it too. Anyway, it comes from this bloke who calls himself the Urban Farming Guy. He reckons I should encourage more folks to start urban farms. Well, Urban Guy sounds like a great idea. Trouble is I read through your info and I see a few flaws in your plan. Oh yeah. But first I need to give you, me listeners, a little bit of a background on it. You see, this urban farming guy, what he does, he gets people to let him use their gardens and yards to grow veggies. Yep, in the middle of the city. Well, at first I thought, makes a change from tedious lawns, doesn't it? And flower borders. Then something, pops into my head. Oh dear. See, I had a relative who was super proud of his pristine lawn. The kind, wouldn't even let a soul set foot on it. Like a bowling green it was, Anyway, it got me thinking, what if the urban guy gets a phone call, see, yep, you're welcome to use my garden and backyard. Just go ahead and maybe, give me a few veggies if it all works out well. So, urban farming guy rubs his hands together and he heads off to make a fresh new start. He arrives at 9006 Main Street. There's a pristine lawn right there. So he goes ahead and tears it up with his gas-powered tiller. The lawn is gone in no time, and he then plants thousands of little baby cabbages. Great, all done. Did you get that, all my lovelies? Get that? Right, okay. So, good. Well, that morning, you see, Mr. Jones left his home with pride and joy, along with his pristine lawn at 6006 Main Street. Did you get that? 6006? Yep. Went to work with the usual plan of heading home that evening and mowing it as usual, tending it with loving care. What you didn't notice, though, was a little small piece of maintenance hadn't been attended to, One of the screws had dropped out of his house number, and the 9 was now upside down. Yup, looked of course like a 6. Oh dear. Well, all I can say, Mr. Jones, is mowing rows of tiny cabbages ain't easy. Then the last thing that bothers me, particularly in this era of renaming just about everything, street names. See, in the citrus growing parts of Florida, plenty of orange streets, lemon and the like, So in the northern cities where citrus is less likely, and away from Apple Avenue, you might find Main Street, renamed to Cabbage Street. Highway 1 is now Lettuce Lane. That's lettuce, actually, not lotus. Lotus Lane is something completely different. See, that's not too bad, is it, really? But if you take the urban farming argument a bit further, you might end up with some less desirable options, eh? How about Compost Close, the Manure Mile, or even Ammonia Avenue? Oh dear, I can really see that causing a bit of a stink in suburbia. Then of course you can't forget the tools, can you? Well, actually maybe you should. You see, Fork Street ain't too bad, is it? But living in Hoe Court, or Hoe Corner, not so good. Spade Road, might present a few problems. All I can say is good luck with your urban farming. Nice thought in the world where we all are veggies 2,000 miles or more. and don't get to eat them until they're nearly zapped, of all their goodness. Well, on that note, me lovelies, I better go. Even when you can't beat growing your own, providing it's legal in your state, or country that is. So until next time, I'm Ned Natter. Just remember, farmers are getting older, some of us more than others. It's time some new blood came down the farm and gave us an hand. Shite matters, without us, you wouldn't have anything to eat. Without me, your Wednesdays won't be so much fun. In the meantime, you can find me and my shows at nednatter.com, along with them social media links. So please come on by and say hi. It would be nice to hear from you. Thanks so much for listening. It's been a pleasure chatting with you again. And I hope you'll join me on the Ned Natter Show again. So until next time, keep a smile on your face. Think positive and don't sweat the small stuff. The grass is not always greener on the other side. It might just be a freeway. Goodbye, my lovelies.